Flats. We have the Minto Flats. The Chattanooga River used to stay clear to the bottom, and then they put in a big mine up here, the big dredges, and we've been fighting ever since. And to this day, Minto is fighting to protect the Minto Flats. You guys, I want you guys to know that, okay?
Yeah.
My name is Dean Teal, and I live north of Nenana. I'm a property owner there. I feel that I have a pretty nice house. I see a lot of my neighbors are here right now, too. You've been in this business for a period of time forming these boroughs. I believe you're pro-borough. It's a good thing. Convince me and my neighbors, or just even give us one example what a borough would do for us that would be good. You should be able to answer that question right now, I would think.
You know, I have to say, I really have no opinion on whether you form a borough or not. I really don't. It is truly my job to get you information so that you can, you know, weigh objective data and make a decision for yourselves. I mean, so that's all I can say. What I do want is, it's not my reasons that matter. On this questionnaire, I need your ideas and reasons, and I will type those up. It really doesn't matter. It's not my job to even have an opinion if I did for this area, sir. Really.
You can't give me a reason why I would want a borough.
Jerry Potts. I live in North Star Borough right now. I bought property north of Nenana. My dream is to be like this gentleman, to own a piece of property that I could retire on. That's mine, that I can give to my children. Just like the native gentleman was talking about. To keep the government from interfering into my life. If I want a pool and I can't afford it, I'll ask my neighbor. We'll share the pool. I don't need the government to provide me one. The one question should have been answered. You guys are dangerous. Asking questions about what it takes or what the borough will do for you. You are giving her ammunition to destroy you. That's right. You are destroying yourself. The one question should be asked here tonight is, what do we need to do to get you fired? What do we need to do to fire you? I'm serious. What do we need to do now? Because you said 15% could establish a borough. What does it take to not establish a borough? What's the answer? What is the answer? I need the answer now.
Or no, or you're having trouble with.
What's the answer?
May I make a suggestion, please?
Sure.
I know pretty much everybody in this room. And to save you from having to come up here again and to go over that $65,000, why don't you
In 2
hire me
years.
and I will go around and get everybody's opinion and I'll send it to you.
Our opinion don't matter. That's not part of the survey.
That, you know, I mean, a
I'll
number.
give you my name and phone number.
Okay, a number of, you know, there's, oh, it's not even working. Are there any other questions that you want?
Answer this question.
I
How
want the
can we get you
question.
fired?
What do we need to do
How can we
to
end
stop
this?
this
How can we end
whole
this
2-year
Just give you the
process?
65,000 and be done with it, and then you promise not to come back?
Yeah, I need a little extra money.
Guys, folks, you can't, listen, pull back here. This is about information that, to empower you. You know, you can stand here and you have philosophical positions against government. Okay, excuse me. That's what you're expressing here, and I get it. I hear you. You have, you know, many of the people in this room have philosophical issues with this whole concept. But you can't, what I'm going to do is give you information so that you've got some facts that you can use to perhaps bolster your philosophical objections, or I have to tell you, not everybody is against this idea. And some people, you know, people want the information so that they can make informed decisions one way or another, and that's my job, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to get the information and provide it to you. Is there anybody else, before we go deep into comments, which I can tell there's some more comments, other questions that I need to answer? The gentleman here, and then you. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Brian Blair, I live here in Indiana, and I'm not sure I'm in favor of this idea, but I do have one question, because one of the things I've heard several times is the reason we need to have organize ourselves is because we might get a hostile takeover, be taken over by somebody else. And it's not good, I've found personal experience, it's not good to live according to fear. So I'd like to know, is that, you know, what is the likelihood of being taken over by, say, or being incorporated into North Star or Denali? And if it were to happen, is it something that just, I had heard at one point that it could happen without us having any say in it, basically. Is that true?
No, no. It could not happen without you having any say, because if any existing borough, they'd have to write a petition and ask to annex this area in. There would be a local boundary commission hearing. You would have lots of opportunity to voice your concern and opinion. I actually think that the gentleman here said something really important, which is it's not good to live your life or make decisions based on fear. And I think that's a really, regardless of your position, and I know people have positions on this, if you decide to go forward, it can't be based on a fear of something that could happen. It has to be for reasons that you believe will empower you and your children and assist with education. And if those answers, if it doesn't pencil out that way, then you shouldn't do it. Don't make decisions based on fear. That's partly why I'm doing this study, so you got the info.
So would we get to vote
I
on
want,
it?
and
Yeah.
people that haven't
He's
commented
asking
yet.
what would we get to vote on it, is what he
Would
asked.
we get to vote on it? And another thing is, is the state legislature, at one point, do we think the state legislature at some point is going to force us into a borough? Because
No.
the way I would figure, the only real reason I could see for it is that because we want to have some say in what happens to us and not have somebody else from outside our region dictating to us what's going to happen.
And that's another really good comment and question, and let me just say that there were a number of legislators in the last decade that did, as you probably know, which is why you asked this, want to force boroughization, is what people called it. The reason why that had traction was because, and I'm sure this isn't a surprise to you, people that live in cities or boroughs that run a school district are required to make a 2.65 mil equivalent contribution to support their school district. And the legislators, some of them, felt that that wasn't fair, that some people in the unorganized boroughs didn't have to make a local contribution and others did. And that was the basis, the philosophical basis behind that whole movement. But those legislators are no longer in office, and there is no movement at this time at all to force boroughs.
Yeah,
so I would not,
Right.
consider that. Sir, you've been waiting patiently.
My name is Glenn Milton. I have property on the Canada River in Springfield, Indiana. I'm trying to make that my primary residence. It sounds to me like the main issue that for another borough to annex the people of Nenana would be the same processes for the people of Nenana to form their own borough, right?
Exactly.
So there is no threat there, period. Like, the same process would be in place, one way or the other.
Same process.
So, okay.
Because that's how we got scared into this.
Right, because I hear that, my brother down in Delta Junction has had the same thing. They always hear that,
Yes.
oh, you gotta form a
Yeah.
borough, you'll be annexed by someone else, but that sounds like a good, clear answer to that question. I'm glad to finally get to that, like, straightforward. But the two questions that I've been wanting to ask is, one, I wanted to see, you talked about if a borough was formed, that state land could be annexed by the borough government, that
You
would
get
be
to
given,
pick it.
be given to the
Yeah.
borough government.
I should-
And I wanted to see where that could
Yeah,
possibly
let
be,
me form that up, yeah.
and have disclosure on that.
Yeah.
Because frankly, I'm really interested in the fact that I'm surrounded by a lot of state land. It's good for the subsistence lifestyle that I want to live, and that I'm in process of pursuing for myself. So I'd be a little nervous, actually, about a borough government trying to develop some of that state land. But I'd be curious to see where it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, no, that's, yeah, let me get this warmed up here.
And then the last question I had was, we've heard a lot from interested people who are clearly against the borough, but will your document let us all know exactly who's behind wanting a borough in terms of economics, demographics, that sort of thing? What is the political, economic interest that drives some people to want to have a borough, have all of us in a borough?
Okay, this is, I mean, this is not, I'm gonna give you an answer that is from another region, that is mulling this over right now also, okay? You're not the only area thinking about these things. The reason, and I have no idea what they're going to do, the reason that they're thinking about it is because their schools are in a world of hurt. It's a big unorganized region, and it's also in, anyway. And if they form a borough, there are some taxable assets. They have a lot of lodges down there. There's a bunch of, they may have a mine, another future thing, not now. And as much as they hate the idea of taxation, some people are thinking about this because if they form a borough and levy a tax on themselves, that tax would be dedicated to education. So it gives them the ability to tax some of the deeper pockets in their community in order to support education for everyone. But believe me, they're pro-con. I have no idea what they're going to decide. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the numbers, document the assumptions, talk to the State Department of Education Finance Director. I'm going to have all that stuff for you, and then you're going to decide.
Are you going to answer his questions in your report?
About?
The specific question of exactly where is the economic interest for certain demographics of people in a region that want to push something like this forward, when clearly you can see where the demographic of people who clearly want us.
Yeah, no, right, I don't.
People who live off the land who
Yeah.
cash poor,
Bye, Brian.
people who are rural, people probably, some of them homeschool their own kids,
Well, I think that's a good point. I mean, I wouldn't characterize it quite that way because I can't say what people's interests are, but your point is about some of these, who would benefit and who would be squeezed. I mean, those are the kinds of things you're asking, and those are good questions. Waiting very patiently in the back,
And then that woman's report.
And this guy,
I will try. I mean, because I can't say what people's.
That nice lady over there with the likes
Okay,
animals.
there's waiting patiently in the back. So here's the thing. How many, it's 8:30 and some people want to go. I want to make sure that everybody that truly has a question can ask the question, and then we can stop, and then if you want to stay and talk and tell me more stuff, I'll listen. But I want to get the questions, and let people get out of here that want to get out of here. So questions, yes ma'am. Thank you, Sue.
And I would like to ask, now, I know that 14C free lands are held for the future municipalities, So would this be a future municipality that would then get those 14C3 lands from all of the area?
That's a good question, I don't know the answer. Okay.
And then I have one other question. You said 15% of the voters that voted in the last election, are you saying actually 15% of those specific voters who voted, just 15% of the number?
And also it's
Of the
a-
number.
Right, and it's a group, it's not like 15% who voted from Manly and 15% from Rampart. It's like you look at the total number of people who voted in all the unincorporated communities, that's the total. And then it's 15% from any one of those communities could sign it. Yes, thank you.
Don't give them money. Can't vote here.
I do.
Ma'am,
My name is Vaughn Fields. I have property.
okay, let's wait.
I'll start again. My name is Vaughn Fields. I have family property in Nenana, in the city limits. We are paying taxes on it. I'd love to talk to Jason about how my shack is worth $8,000. I also have property north of the city limits, quite a ways. Several properties in my family, one of mine, that's worth quite a bit, actually. So I'm really not happy about the tax thing. But my question is for you, since this is very specific.
Yeah.
On this no, on the status quo and the no borough.
Yes.
How thorough are you going to go? I would like to have some way of defeating a borough when you do the status quo, since there's already been a petition filed.
Okay, I'll just say, the reason that what I'm doing in the no borough, the status quo, is there's gotta be something to compare borough stuff against. So the status quo is like the current, how many kids are in the school, how much money do these places get, how much state and federal revenue, what services do they offer. I'm gonna be talking about those kinds of things.
And not helping us.
I don't know. I mean, because I don't know what exactly you're looking for, but
I'm
what?
asking,
Yeah.
you're consulting
Yeah.
for the city who's got grant money from the state, from all of us, so you're actually working for us as well as Jason, which, whatever. I want to then amend your option of status quo to give us an idea of how not to become a borough, because it's already in that direction.
How to remain unorganized.
Okay, okay, and you're next, and then there's a gentleman here that's been waiting a long time, and then you're next. Yes, sir.
Excuse me if I don't stand up. My name's Ken Charles from Mento. I'm the president of Mento Development Corporation, a subsidiary of Setcor, our Native Village Corporation. I came down here to get information regarding what we're talking about today. And we're going to go back and give this information to our people. But just in what I have learned down through the years regarding boroughs and as relate to our Native people, our Native communities, most of, I would say about 99% of the Native communities are totally against boroughs. And that's the way Mento feels. That's the way Mento feels right now, but I can't really speak for the Mento Native Council. They're here, some of them are here, and they can speak for themselves. But we just came here on a fact-finding mission and to get information from this lady who seems to know a lot about boroughs and whether Nenana City Council hired her or not, it doesn't matter to me. Just as long as we get the information. To start something and begin something or not begin something, we need to find some facts and go with what we know and learn about it. And I applaud you guys here sitting in the room for not wanting to be run over by the government as the Native people have been done so long. And I wish you well on your endeavors, and you, I don't want your job.
Charlie Titus, the first chief of intertribal government. I don't know, some of you probably read history before, after a bit of history. You know, you read about the land claims, what it entails. You know, I was reading in the archives at the University of Alaska about land claims. In 1917, Judge Wickersham met with the chiefs of the Tanana region. Chiefs, most of the 10 chiefs region. He told them, each chief from each region, someday you're going to be overrun by the white people, farmers, miners. He said, you guys got to pick out a land, make a land claim. You're going to have to be faced with reservation. And that was all fine with them. Okay, we'll make sure we set our boundaries. And Chief Charlie, well, Chief Thomas, who's my great-grandfather, he did his own of Indiana, all the way up to those hills back there, across this way, almost to the big mountain over there down to Kantishna, up this way. That's where he claimed. And then Chief Charlie, he claimed from Live and Good all the way down to Manly, all the way up to the river, and somewhere, I think, for a taut jacket, he cut all the way back over to the foothills past, well, it was where Fox, probably, this side of Fox. That was original land claims. And then time went on. I remember in 1955, or the Statehood Act came along, and our young honorable Congressman, Senator Ted Stevens was just a young man. I think he worked for the Department of Interior or somebody. But he reviewed the land. Another negotiations came in. I don't think the village council had much say in that negotiations. But they cut that big claim settle, or the one they claimed, down to 64 square miles, right out to Old Minto. And we didn't, I don't know if anybody signed off on it, but I seen what was done. And you know, it really hurt when you think about those injustice done to us. Mm-hmm. And then again, bless his soul, that Senator, he's gone now, but he did something that I wasn't, you know, I always thought good of him. Until I read what he did to us. And I said, well, he wasn't good after all. But then the land claims came on. And boy, God, what, all that money, all that oil, are we going to sell our land again? We didn't sell a darn thing. And I didn't. It was practically stolen. Then we got little checkerboards. You see it now. And we don't even own that land. The tribe don't even own that land. You think we're rich with land, we don't own nothing. The corporations own all the land. In turn, they'll give us what little scraps we got left over. That's what it amounts to. And my question to the borough study is, you know, we have a government-to-government relationship with the federal government. Right. And the state don't even recognize us. Right. They don't recognize us as being tribal members. They think we're just everyday Americans, but we've been here first. I have a lot of strong feelings about that. Right.